Hello, 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 YouTube. Jared Fuller here. Today is Sunday, June 3rd, 2018. So glad you could join me for another week of the Sunday video update. Yes, today is National Cancer Survivors Day. So to all of my brothers and sisters out there watching this right now who are cancer survivors, not necessarily child of cancer survivors, but any and all survivors watching this, today is our day. Much love to all of you, brothers and sisters who are watching. But as many of you know, my specialty is pediatric cancer awareness. So I'm a child of cancer survivor, which also qualifies in the National Cancer Survivors Day. So I just wanted to say to brothers and sisters of all ages, congratulations on your survival. And whether or not you choose to raise awareness to cancer of any age, or if you decide that you want to close that chapter of your life, either way, we're still brothers and sisters in this, and I'm so happy for you that you survived, as did I. I survived something very, very traumatic as pediatric cancer 29 years ago. And I also wanted to use this time to offer my condolences to the Suter family. A little girl named Addie had passed away today after a battle with DIPG. She was only 4 years old. So this, it's always a bittersweet situation, and it's very sad at the same time. Her parents were expecting this. Her health had declined, and they got, what they wanted her to die gracefully, and she did. Now she's not in any more pain, but it doesn't take away the pain that they must be feeling. So to the Suter family, if they're watching this, I send out my love and condolences and warmest of hugs. And I hope that the Suter family, I hope that they're able to adjust to this new way of life and this new normal without their baby. And it's really sad. But as for me, I have some plans coming up this month, and I'm going to try to rattle these off by memory. I had notes, and I ended up deleting them. I didn't save the document on my computer. All right, dogs, cut it out. I got Dad behind me. Dad, say hello.
Hello. How are ya?
But I do have some events coming up this month. On June 10th, I'm going to be in Eaton Rapids at a day with Caleb Becker. On June 16th, I will be in St. Clair, Michigan at a fundraiser for a little girl named Olivia, who is also battling DIPG. On June 17th, the next day, I'm expected to be in Owasso at an open house for my cousin Colin, almost said Caleb, for Colin. On June 23rd, I will be in Davison, Michigan at a cancer-free party for a little girl named Ava that I got to meet at the Radiothon event at Hurley Children's Hospital in Flint back in February, I believe. Yes, it was February. So I'll be going to that. And on, oh, bless you. And on June 29th, I will be in Sandusky, Ohio to meet a warrior brother named Finn and his family. We're going to enjoy dinner and get to know each other a little better. So there's lots to do. And I've been invited to some friends' house. They live near Fenton. They asked me to join them out on their boat. So I'm looking forward to that as well. We just got home from my grandpa's a little while ago. He gave me this change bank. It's a slot machine. It's called Buckaroo Bank. And as you can see, I hit 3 red 7s. And this light does flicker, and it makes the ring sound, so it's very authentic. It gives you a very realistic feel when you're playing an actual slot machine. And it takes actual change, and when you land on a winning combination, it just spits all the change back out. And when I say spits it out, I literally mean spits it out. It just like it throws it at you. So yeah, we got that. And we went to some yard sales around Chesaning today. We went to McDonald's and had lunch. Me and Dad and Amy. Amy's being unsociable. She's in her bedroom. And she knows she's more welcome to join us anytime. You guys were here last week, I think, for the Sunday video update. I am getting to this late today because I wasn't home. But now I am home, and the minute I walked through the door, I told my dad, I said, well, I've got to get this Sunday video update done. So.
But the dogs attacked you.
Yeah, the dogs are kind of crazy.
Excited to see you.
Oh, yeah, the dogs are always excited to see us. So I wanted to get back on the topic of National Cancer Awareness Day, if I may. So, of course, naturally, this day is very personal to me. And it should be personal to warriors, old and young, all over the world. Because what I understand being a National Cancer Survivor Day, I'm not sure if it's just in the United States or if it's a global day of reflection for the survivors like myself. But I'm just going to, put my money on it that it is a international day of honoring the survivors. And, us survivors, there's a lot of survivors who want to lead normal lives. They don't want to reopen that chapter of their lives because it's too painful to deal with, and that's understandable. I can respect that. But then there's also those of us, as myself, where for the longest time, that chapter of my life was over. Until I reached the age of, I'd say, 26. It was back in 2013. I was 26. I was going on 27 that year. And it dawned on me that, realistically, I never left this community. I've actually been a member of the pediatric cancer community for nearly the past 30 years. There are lots of brothers and sisters out there who are older, much older than me, but they battled when they were kids. As a matter of fact, I had spoken with someone, I think it was last year. She had battled Wilms tumor back in 1971. She had spoken publicly at an event called CureFest, which I've never been to a CureFest. Don't think I want to go, but it's in Washington, D.C. It's held every September during Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. But she had Wilms tumor back in 71. I had Wilms tumor in 89. I was diagnosed in 1989. The thing about us, the survivors, a lot of us are also advocates. And we push for the funding and the research so we can find cures for this stuff. And I've been an advocate for the past 5 years. I have, on many occasions, considered ending my advocacy efforts. But then I always find a reason to keep coming back, if not for myself, for other people. So, because this journey is very scary and it's painful, and there's people out there who need the survivors to actually speak up about their own experiences so that way they know what to expect. Dad and I had this discussion today, as a matter of fact, this morning over a cup of coffee, where, and I even suggested that my dad do a video where he's reminiscing about when I was sick and battling cancer as a baby. He agreed to it, and I would be willing to sit next to him in the video, or he could be by himself and talk like I'm talking now. It's totally and completely up to him, either way. But there's survivors, as I said, there's survivors who want no part of that anymore, and I respect that 100%. And then there are those of us who have survived, and we are trying to help make a difference, and we want to raise awareness. And since I began my advocacy efforts in 2013, it's always been that, a straight shot. I'm only here, I'm not here, I've never been here to look pretty or to be famous or popular or for the attention or the notoriety, which is what a lot of quote-unquote advocates are here for. They use childhood cancer as a fashionable medium to talk about, and it bolsters their ego because they have, I don't know, some kind of a persecution and inferiority complex. Not me. I only talk about my story and my efforts in raising awareness because I feel personally it's important that everybody knows. And it's also important to me that many of these families know that I've been through this. Not all children survive. Not all warriors survive cancer, unfortunately. But, that's when you're an advocate, that comes with the territory. That comes with the territory. There's always going to be that one story or those moments where warriors don't survive their battles. And of course it breaks my heart. It should break anybody's heart. Now, if my only goal or my aim in my advocacy efforts was to be famous or popular or to get notoriety or attention, I would have ended it a long time ago before I even got deeper into it. Because for me, it's not about being popular. It's not about being famous. Some people can't live without that notion that they have to be heard, they have to be popular, because they can't do anything else, obviously. And I'm not saying that about all indirectly affected advocates, because I'm friends with lots of tremendous people who they make it about the kids. They don't care if they get noticed. They just want to help. That's their goal or their mission. And speaking of advocates, the frauds and the fakes, be sure to check out GuideStar.org. GuideStar.org is a website tied in with the Internal Revenue Service. You'll get all your information about legitimate 501c3 nonprofit organizations and LLCs. That is GuideStar.org. Check it out today. And I will push that forevermore until YouTube takes my channel down. I don't know. But there are a lot of people out there using childhood cancer to bolster their egos. And I'm just tired of it. I'm just fed up with the whole thing. Because if your heart isn't really and truly in this, then go away. Just disappear off into oblivion. We don't need people like you here if you're not in it for the kids. And we have to be very selective. There's people who would argue with me all day long, well, you can't be too selective. Well, yes, you can. You most certainly can. And if the fraud and the chicanery is not evidence enough that we need to be selective, then I don't know what would be evidence for that. We certainly do need to be selective and do our homework and our research on certain individuals. They're looking to profit and to enjoy paid vacations, and they set up fake GoFundMe pages, stealing pictures of sick children, claiming that it's their child that's sick, and what they are doing is sick. And I don't have a problem pointing out the frauds and the fakes. There are different degrees and different angles of frauding people. And the one person that I've been at wits with now for the past couple of years, his fraud act is, he's a manipulator. He systematically and professionally manipulates people. He attaches himself to their vulnerability, their emotions, and he makes a profit. He travels all over the United States, and he needs to be stopped.
Hey,
I agree. I agree with you, Barkley.
somebody out there? Where am I?
Say it loud, pup. Say it loud and say it proud.
Puppy,
Um,
Why?
But anyway, that's that. Now, and those people who, because I hear this a lot too, well, if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't know. Well, guess what? If it wasn't for me, you wouldn't know. Because while I am very confident that there are people who are researching what childhood cancer is, or cancer in general, while I am very confident that people are looking up this information and educating themselves and wanting to advocate for funding and research, you have to also remember that this to you, the indirectly affected advocate, this to you is second-hand information. To me, it is rudimentary first-hand experience. There is a difference. But I'm not going to paint all indirectly affected advocates with the same broad brush, because not all of them are as weak and feeble-minded that they want to use children for profit and gain. They actually are in it for the kids. So that's just, I figure one rant a week on my YouTube channel should be plenty. Get some Altoids. You guys like Altoids? I love Altoids. That what you hear in the background, Dad's playing Club Keno, Michigan Lottery ripoff. But anyway, really not a whole lot going on this past week. I've been invited to several different places, as you've heard. For the most part, everything's been okay. I mean, it's been really hot and sticky. On Friday, I was down in Lansing, just on a joyride. Nothing else to do. It rained. And it was hard to see. But then it cleared up, and, Lansing is still there. So, Dad. Fuller. So do you ever get flashbacks when you go to Lansing?
Yep.
From when I was there?
Yep.
I thought so. Because I know, even for Mom, she won't go to Lansing at all. She wants no part of that town because of all the time that we spent there. And I can understand. It has to be frustratingly difficult for my parents. Nobody wants to see their kid battle things that, because Mom and Dad they're protectors. Mom and Dad are the ones that are there to protect you, and there are cases where Mom and Dad can't protect you. And I think that's why it's so hard for my parents, even when I talk about it, or when I ask questions about my battle, because they feel as if we couldn't save our boy. I think all parents go through that when they watch their children suffer. But it's not the parents' fault. It's nobody's fault. Things like this happen. And that's why awareness is key. Awareness is always important, because the more awareness that we raise, awareness eventually ends up as being, awareness turns into funding, and funding turns into research. So, while it is painfully obvious that my parents are not, they're not privy to just talk about it at random like I am, because I've learned to be very vocal about my battle and my experiences and my situation. It's still important regardless to chew up my Altoids. it's still very important to talk about it and to get awareness out there, because the more awareness we can get, the better. And there's people, when I just get done talking about the frauds, and then I talk about how awareness is important. They say, well, Jared, you just contradicted yourself. No, actually I didn't. Because raising awareness, we need honest awareness advocacy efforts. We don't need people who are doing this just for the publicity and the press and the media. We don't need people for that. If you're not really and truly and sincerely doing this for the children, then go away. I've been doing this for 5 years. I've never been noticed nationally or publicly, although my YouTube channel is one way. It's a platform for me to speak about these things, but I've never actually been on any news media outlet. I've never been noticed nationally or locally, only to a select few. The people who really and truly know me, they know that I've been an advocate for the last 5 years. Dad, you want to shut that door? They know me, I guess locally would be the correct term. But I'm not known nationally among the world in the sense that I'm on CNN or one of the major cable news networks. However, I do have friends, brothers and sisters, who have been in the national spotlight. They've been on CNN. A warrior sister of mine named Sadie Keller, she is the brainchild behind the Sadie Keller Foundation, which I am very supportive of, and I love Sadie. She's a sweetheart of a warrior. She had some national media attention for not only for her foundation, but to push in the movement of awareness and funding and research, which, but she is an actual survivor, so that's why I would never have a problem with that. If you're an actual survivor of this, and somehow you get to be so big that you land a spot on a national cable news channel, more power to you. Because I feel, personally, that young girls like Sadie, or even, young boys, whoever it is, if they get a national spot on television, and they're talking about childhood cancer and why it's important to raise awareness, they're not only speaking on behalf of themselves and their foundations, but they're also speaking on behalf of the survivors, the fighters, and those who have passed away. So it's always important to get that out. Because we know, or at least I know, that those people who get the national spotlight, the actual survivors, whether they get on national television or not, I think is irrelevant. Because at the end of the day, they are still the survivor, and they still choose to raise awareness, and they want to get the word out. Okay, boys. Hey. Those are my dogs, Barkley and Scruffy. Come on, you two. Cut it out. I am getting to this late in the evening. I realize that, and I do apologize. I was gone for majority of the day. And now we're back home. You can, excuse me, you can probably hear Amy in the background on her phone. Dad, he's just behind me, playing his Club Keno. Are you winning anything yet? Oh, you won $2. Sounds like the Tightwad Michigan Lottery.
The machine ain't working right, so.
But, I mean, I know that's a lot to take in, and I do have a habit of rambling on. I'm quite gregarious when I get speaking, and I get on a point. I just can't shut up. Scruffy. Come here, Scruff. Come here. Come on. Come here, baby. Say hello to YouTubes. Oh my gosh. Say hello to the peoples. Yeah, I know. Alright, get on. behave yourself now. Behave yourself. Oh, you want back up here? Okay. All right, baby. All right. You behave yourself. Oh, I love you too. I love you too, buddy. Yes, Scruffy. Oh, you licking my hand. Yeah, I love you too, baby. Yes, I talk like a baby to my dogs because they are fur babies. We love them, and you need a haircut, buddy. Got to get you a trim because it's starting to get hot outside, and that June heat. Oh boy. Oh, and I almost forgot. Can you get down? Can you get down for a second? Can you get down, please? Go to Daddy. Thank you. I'm wearing my Deanie Strong shirt today. I don't know if Deanie or his family watches my YouTube videos, but I will say, just to state for the record, if the Band of Vanos family is watching, I love you all, and hopefully I'll get to see you all sometime again very soon. I am planning a trip down to Ohio in late July, so maybe I'll buzz down to Columbus again, and maybe I'll run into you somewhere. Who knows? But I do love the Band of Vanos family. I love all the Warriors and their families. And yeah, I mean, there's no mistake. I have all kinds of haters. I mean, I've been talking about my haters now for quite a long time. But that's not my problem. Their viewpoint of me or what they think about me is irrelevant. Because at the end of the day, no matter what, because I spoke the truth like I always do, if you can't handle the truth, then that's not my problem. But I only spoke my mind, and I will continue to speak my mind until certain people are extinguished and eliminated from this community permanently, and that they never come back again, that they never use sick children for their own selfish desires ever again. And if it takes one video per week at a time, then one video it is, because I'm not going to just sit idly by and be quiet while there's people out there who are not really and truly in this for whatever it is that they're in this for, which is supposed to be to raise awareness and to help the families. They help themselves by making themselves look good using the families and the kids. There's just no way. I don't wear these bracelets for attention. I wear these bracelets as part of the awareness efforts. And make no mistake, I turn a lot of heads with these bracelets. There's kids that try to take my bracelets. You can ask my dad. My little cousins all the time, every time I go visit them, they want Cousin Jared's bracelets. And the answer is no. The bracelets are not available for you to take. Because these warriors, some of them are with us, some of them are not. And I try to keep these bracelets nice and neat on my arm, but there's so many of them, and it's hard to keep all of them straight. But I love my warrior brothers and sisters, and I always will. And Jer Bear is always available, which was something else, Dad, that people held over. They held over my head.
Yeah.
He calls himself Jer Bear. That's just creepy. For your information, my nickname Jared Bear came from my cancer battle. My dad had purchased Jared Bear, the teddy bear. It was at the gift shop, wasn't it?
Yep.
At Sparrow, which I still have him. I'll have him. They'll bury him with me. My dad got the bear from the gift shop at Sparrow. He was my sidekick through the whole thing. So I garnered the nickname Jer Bear from the cancer battle because of the teddy bear that. And the end joke is I don't want the people that I meet, I don't want them to think I'm a 30-year-old nut walking around with a teddy bear. And every time I mention that, it's kind of an icebreaker, but every time I mention that, the families kind of laugh and they think it's funny, and that's the whole point.
Well, look at the movie Ted.
Oh yeah, look at the movie. Yeah, the movie Ted. Well, Jerry Bear was around long before the swearing, pot smoking Ted. Jerry Bear said some cuss words. Yeah, and I guess Mom doesn't buy the excuse that Jerry Bear was teaching me these words when it was actually me saying the words into the bear. It's like, well Jerry Bear taught me, Mom. No, because he only repeats what you tell him.
Okay, we'll fix that.
Yeah, Mom fixed it all right. She took the battery pack out. I wish she would have left it in, because I don't know where the battery pack is. She probably threw it away.
Probably.
I don't know. But that's where I got my nickname Jerry Bear. Because of that battle. Because of that painful moment in my life. And if you're on Facebook, you will see, chances are, you will see warriors with teddy bears or plush animals of some nature, of some sort, because that's their comfort. Because when everything goes wrong in the world, that's probably as close as comfort as they're going to get. I know that's how it was for me. And Jared Bear is an heirloom to my medical history. So that's, every time I look at that bear, I think back to the first time, and survivor guilt. A lot of people say that survivor guilt is not real. Yes, it is. Skanxiety is real. And I got my first dose of survivor guilt when I was probably, I'd say 4 or 5. When we went to see Debbie and Kelly, they're in East Lansing at the clinic.
Yep.
There was another kid that walked in with the IV pole. They were bald and they were wearing their gowns. And I remember I was standing there, with Jared Bear, holding my Jared Bear in my hand, and I was just staring. And Mom gently, Jared, it's not polite to stare. But I knew something was up. I couldn't put my finger on it, but I knew something was going on. Something wasn't right. And we were on our way home in our 87 Cavalier station wagon, and the song From a Distance by Bette Midler had come on the radio, and that's all it took. I just broke down crying. I still have my Alf blanket. For those of you who remember the TV show Alf from the 80s, I had a blanket. And I was in the back seat under my Alf blanket with Jerry Bear, and I was crying, and Mom asked me what was wrong, and that other kid there, that kid was sick, and Mom says, yeah, and that kid had cancer. Yep, sure did. And that's why I was sad. That's why I cried home on the way home. So that's when I got my first real dose of survivor guilt. And to be quite frank, I don't think that it ever left. Every time I see a kid go through that, whether they have no hair, whether it's a picture of them getting labs or ultrasounds, x-rays, whatever, it leaves a very bitter taste in my mouth, because it's like, I've gone through that. What did these kids ever do? So survivor guilt, maybe particularly on this day, being National Cancer Survivors Day, today would probably be the day when survivor guilt hits people the hardest. Because there are so many of our brothers and sisters who did not survive it. And it makes it 100% times a million more harder and more difficult. Because we don't want to lose children. We don't want to lose family. We don't want to lose anybody to this disease. But it's happening. It happened today. And my heart breaks for the Suter family. 4-year-old Addie passed away. I'm not sure if she passed away last night or this morning, but it was very recent. But she passed away gracefully, which is what the parents were hoping for, that she would just pass away, so that way she would be out of the pain and out of the misery. And it happened, but it doesn't take away from the pain of knowing that your baby is gone forever. That pain will never go away. And it may be wrong for me to speak out of turn about losing children, because I don't have kids and I don't know what it's like to lose a child. But I understand loss. I feel grief whenever I lose a close friend or a loved one. But to lose a child, a human life that you brought into the world, a human life that you created, that's beyond any kind of measure that I could imagine. But again, my love and my sympathies and my condolences go straight out to the Suter family, and I hope they're able to adjust to this new way of life, to this new normal, and I hope they're able to adjust. That's really all I can say, other than I'm sorry and I offer my condolences. But there's really nothing much else to talk about. I'm going to be mailing out a letter to a cancer warrior down in Orlando, Florida. I'm going to be sending that out tomorrow. And I have to print off another letter for a young lady named Rebecca, the brainchild behind Knots and Arrows Allergic to Cancer Foundation. She lives in Wyckoff, New Jersey. So I have 2 letters to send out tomorrow. And I will probably take those out tonight and leave the correct amount of change in the box, so that way the mailman, the mail lady, I should say, will come and take it. And, yeah, the mail carrier will have, the proper amount of postage needed. Okay, boys. Scruff?
They're playing.
Barky?
They're playing.
You guys playing over there? Huh? Yeah, okay. They talk to me in their own little language, Was there anything you wanted to add?
No.
I pretty much said all I needed to say. National Cancer Survivors Day is today. And all my brothers and sisters who are watching this, and even the fighters, I know that I'm not sure if there's a national day for the warriors, for the fighters. I'm not sure. But I will be the one to take the liberty of addressing this as well, that the ones who are currently fighting, and I keep in touch with many, I just want them to know that I understand the journey. If you're watching this, I understand your journey 100%, and I'm always within reach. If you would like to email me, you can find my email address in the About tab section of my YouTube channel, and we can talk about anything you want. I don't want families to feel obligated to reach out to me. I don't want families to feel pressured. And I certainly don't want the families or the warriors to feel as if, I'm too busy for them. That's never the case. Even if it's a simple hello, how are you, I will never be too busy for you. And please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I have Skype, and I have this new app on my cell phone. It's called Duo, which is, video chatting. and of course I have my email address. So you know, I'm always within reach. I'm not a hard person to find. I don't think, anyway. Especially to the hater or the haters who are thumbs downing my YouTube videos every week. So I guess that I should be thankful.
Yeah.
Because I give my haters something to do, because they have no life otherwise. They need to thumbs down and do the heinous, stupid crap that they do on a week in, week out basis. So I'm glad that I can keep foolish people busy and hard at work at thumbs downing all my YouTube videos. It hasn't stopped me, and it will never stop me. It'll never deter me from speaking the truth about dishonest, fraudulent, crappy people. Because, you know, love me or hate me, I'm a survivor. I've been there and done that. And there's no denying that. And, you know what I should do? I should commemorate this National Survivors Day with showing you all my battle scars. Here's the first one. The scar going across my stomach from the kidney removal. If I can find it. Here's my port mark. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but that's where I had my chemo port. And there is a little white blotch on my right wrist. And it's very hard to see. But it's like right there. I'll try to hold my wrist very still to see if you can see that, or at least notice that it's there. I had what's called arterial blood gas, ABGs. I would have thought that mark would have healed. But it's been almost 30 years since my battle, and my scars are still prevalent. I'm not complaining. I mean, if people are interested in wanting to see my scars up close and personal, I don't have a problem showing them. They are in places on my body that I can show. But that's part of my journey. So I'm guessing that's it for this week, guys. And I apologize for getting to this so late in the evening. Like I said, I've been gone for a good bulk of the day. But I wanted to wish all of you a happy National Cancer Survivors Day. I love you all. And I will see you next week. Same bear time, same bear channel. Dad, you want to say bye?
Goodbye, and bear with us.
Yeah, bear with us. All right, YouTubers, I'm out of here. Much love to all of you. Have a wonderful week, and I will be here next week. Have a good one. Peace out.